Welcome to the Mineral Identification Lab. You should have in front of you the chart that you're to fill out. You also need the mineral identification key, which is found with the instructions for this activity. We're looking at 8 samples today, and we'll identify a number of different tests. I'm going to skip the hardness test so that the video doesn't get too long. But if you have it narrowed down between 2 items and you just need to know something about the hardness, you can email me and I will give you a clue. Here's sample number 1, and the first column says that you're to record the color, which I would call white. The second one is cleavage, and that refers to the breakage pattern. And you can see this is breaking along planes, right? So if you look at that, it appears to be in planes. Here's an oblique angle greater than 90 degrees. So we have a clear breakage plane. The luster, it looks glassy. And there's a word in your chart they use for glassy called vitreous. So it has a glassy luster. We have to test whether it's magnetic, but it doesn't appear to be. And then we are going to test what kind of streak it leaves when I rub it against a ceramic. Oopsie, I lost part of it there, but you can actually see that it's leaving a white streak. So that is sample number 1. And I'm going to rub that off. Let's take a look at sample number 2 now. Sample number 2 is very distinctive. You should have no trouble identifying this one because it has such a clear cleavage pattern. Before we talk about that, I'd call that black. But again, color will fool you because impurities can change the color of a mineral. But something that is very distinctive here is the cleavage pattern, which is in flat flakes. So that is a strong indicator of what kind of mineral this one is. It also has a glassy appearance, so you would call that vitreous. It is not magnetic. And it's so soft that I'm not entirely sure whether that's just mineral that's rubbed off or not, but it has maybe brownish or maybe none for a streak. Cleaning up a little bit. Sample number 3. Sample number 3 is a grayish white. Again, that's not a good strong indicator of anything really. It has no clear cleavage pattern. It looks very uneven, so I would call that an uneven cleavage. One thing that's very interesting about this, although we're not testing hardness, I will tell you that if I just hold this between my fingers are left feeling like there's a residue left behind. So that tells me that even though I'm not testing hardness, this is a very soft mineral for it to feel like it's leaving residue on my fingers. The luster, I don't know if you can tell this in the video, but it does have a slight shine to it, but it's not a shine that I would call glassy in any way. So I guess you would call that maybe pearly. It is not magnetic. And with the streak, leaves a clear white streak. So that was sample number 3. Sample number 4. Sample number 4 is a reddish-brown color. It also appears to be fairly uneven in the way it's breaking. It doesn't really have a luster. It's a very dull kind of a color, not shiny. Is it magnetic? Nope. What color of streak does it leave? Ooh, leaves a sort of reddish-brown color. All right, sample number 5. Sample number 5 is black, and it's got some sort of metallic luster to it. You can see those sparkles there. So that's a metallic luster. It also appears to have an uneven cleavage, though. Oh, wow, do you see this? That is distinctive. When I test it with the magnet, I get a clear result there, so it's magnetic. Okay. And then that leaves streak. So what do we got for a streak here? Looks like it's leaving a sort of a blackish colored streak. So that was sample number 5. Sample 6. Sample 6 also has flakes that are metallic. Instead of being sort of black metallic flakes, these are sort of almost gold looking metallic flakes. Also an uneven breakage. There's no clear cleavage plane there. Not magnetic. I'm having a little trouble getting a streak here, which is funny because I did this earlier and I managed, oops, there we go. So the streak is sort of a brownish gray color, sort of a brownish grayish black color. Sample 7. Now the first thing I noticed about sample 7 is how much it looks similar to sample 1. This was 1 and this is 7. And both of them are white and both of them are vitreous. But there is a clear, distinct difference between them, and it has to do with those cleavage patterns. Sample 1 has a clear cleavage pattern, but sample 7 is uneven in its cleavage. So that would be a distinguishing factor. So, not magnetic. It's not leaving a streak, so there's no streak. So that was sample number 7. Sample number 8, our last sample, is also a black-gray color, and it's very much got a metallic luster to it, and it has a clear cleavage pattern. You can see a very strong cleavage pattern there, which appears to be almost right at 90 degrees. It's not magnetic. A very strong black streak is left behind. So hopefully with that information, you should be able to complete this activity.